This is WWE superstar Drew McIntyre, and you're listening to the WWE Podcast.
The champ is
the one that everybody wants, me.
It's going to WrestleMania. Claymore!
Austin 316 says I just whipped your ass. This is my iron. You're going to acknowledge me.
Welcome, everybody, to the WWE Podcast. Sunday, it is September 7th. It is 2025. Boy, do we have a lot to talk about tonight, as you could imagine. You know, that was one of the most star-studded SmackDowns that I can remember in recent memory. Between John Cena being there, Brock Lesnar interfering, AJ Lee returning, CM Punk making an appearance, Seth Rollins making an appearance. This was... I mean, I really don't know offhand another SmackDown that was this star-studded from top to bottom. It felt like an old-school SmackDown, and another just piece of evidence that star power will always trump, even just pure great wrestling. I think star power will forever be a ratings draw, no matter what. And we saw that this past Friday. Now, there also was an awesome match between John Cena and Sami Zayn that I don't think any of us saw coming. A match that was probably one of the best that John Cena's had thus far in his run for his retirement tour that took place for the U.S. title, although, of course, nobody expected John Cena to win it. Still a fun match. Sami Zayn gets booed for the first time in a long time. Talk about that a little bit later, too. But this was a really fun SmackDown. If you didn't hear the breakdown, check out the breakdown that Amanda did from the UK. She did a great job breaking it down from Friday night, and I posted it late Saturday afternoon. If you didn't get a chance, check it out, because I think you'll enjoy it. And that said, too, I mean, we have WrestlePalooza just a couple of weeks away, and we have a semi-filled-in card, but not complete. It is now official with Brock Lesnar and John Cena. There is at least that. It's all but confirmed with AJ Lee and CM Punk versus Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch. There's just no way that doesn't happen. And if you are still looking to have WrestlePalooza be available on Netflix, well, just look no further than Stephanie McMahon's advice that she's getting in trouble for, of getting a VPN and then just using Netflix. So that is certainly possible, because TKO is not happy with Stephanie McMahon and her advice to people about just getting a VPN, which honestly, getting a VPN, it's super easy to do, and it will save you a lot of time, especially if you want to just use your old platforms to get your wrestling content like the WWE Network. You can do that. Scramble, use your VPN. Getting a VPN isn't illegal. It's not illegal. So the only question is it ethical to do? Yeah, it's ethics and morality that really is the question here about whether or not getting a VPN is something you should do, but it's not illegal, and it can provide a lot of benefits to you. So take that for what you will. It's also the start of NFL season. Big time this weekend. Those of you that are interested in such things, because the NFL season started on Thursday this past week, but boy, it went into full swing this past Sunday, and the games are still going on as I speak. I know that this is not an NFL show, but I wanted to just acknowledge it nonetheless, because a lot of wrestling fans are NFL fans and vice versa. So, yeah, I'm a Giants fan, and we did not start well, but I did not expect to, given the Commanders and the fact that the Giants just don't have an offensive line at all. And you're already hearing people ask for Jackson Dart. You knew that was going to happen. The moment they had a bad game, you hear, "Where's Jackson Dart? When are we going to have Jackson Dart?" Well, here's the thing. You can't bring in a rookie if there's no offensive line just to have him get killed. Okay, so Jackson Dart, you're risking injury. I don't think he's quite ready. You want him to sit and learn under the tree of knowledge as long as possible before you put him on there live, especially with no offensive line, no protection. He could get injured. It's not a good call. But there's my just only NFL analysis, just so you guys don't say, "Oh, what are you talking about? NFL, this is wrestling." So, but I still have to acknowledge it. Now, let's get to SmackDown that we'll cover first. And if you want to listen to all this, by the way, ad-free, patreon.com/WWE podcast is the place to go. I think we still have our one ad running. Maybe today's the last day. 25% off any tier if you use the code AJLEE at checkout. So let's talk SmackDown. And SmackDown opened in a big way with John Cena to a massive ovation. Huge ovation. And it was one that was probably the biggest ovation that I've heard for John Cena in that building or in Chicago at all. I mean, I don't know the last time he got this big of an ovation, if ever. But we had him come out, as I said. He was just soaking it in. He said he was coming off a lot of bad years and needed to get his mojo back, so he focused on leaving everything he had in the ring to prove himself he could still do it. He then said tonight he had no plan. He just wanted to take it in and have fun. He said what makes tonight special is looking out in the crowd and seeing people excited, when years ago he might have had something a little different. And he thanked the crowd for using their voice and said it had a lot to do with people continuing to come back to WWE. And he told the crowd they were in for an exciting night and reminded them that this was the last time he would appear in Chicago and his last appearance on SmackDown. He then recalled 20 years ago, he walked out to the ring and on SmackDown smacked Kurt Angle in the face and started this crazy ride. He then recalled his favorite memories from Chicago, which were CM Punk winning the title from him, which of course he was referring to Money in the Bank 2011, and putting it in his refrigerator and facing Triple H at WrestleMania. He again thanked the crowd for keeping him honest and helping him experience failure and humility. Again, I'm kind of getting tired of this. I'll go over that in a minute, but the crowd ran off another thank you, Cena, and then he said he also helped them experience joy and okay. So I hate to be kind of dismissive of this John Cena promo, but I feel like I've heard this promo before a lot. That's what happens when you do a year-long goodbye tour. And I know he had the 5 months of being heel, which actually was, again, a nice kind of reprieve from otherwise what would have been just kind of, oh, thank you. And the people chant, thank you, Cena. And he's like, oh, thank you. No, thank you. No, thank you. Essentially, that's the promo that we would have gotten otherwise, and I've already worn thin of it. I understand every city is different, but from a television perspective, it's so repetitive. It's constantly the same thing because what else can you say? This is the drawback of a year-long goodbye tour, regardless of the fact that he's one of the biggest stars the company's ever produced. It's going to be the same promo. Unless you just ignore that part and do your thing and wrestle. You could still do that. That's option B. But they've opted for option A every time, and that is to just, essentially say goodbye to every city he's in. So there is that. But the crowd, again, thank you, Cena chants. And he thanked them again, wished them a good night, and then that's when Sami Zayn music hit. He got some booze. Sammy got some booze. And Cena said it was happy hour in Chicago and he was there for the booze. That was, I don't know where he got that line, but he didn't come up with that. So Sammy thanks Cena on behalf of the locker room. And he said that he recalled making his debut against John Cena for the title and what the U.S. title, the United States Championship Open Challenge did for him and others to get an opportunity. And Sammy then told Cena that with his permission, he'd like to recreate his own U.S. title open challenge for the same reason. And Cena thought that was a great idea. I don't know why we thought that. Why does Sami Zayn need permission from John Cena to do anything? Kind of weird. I'm not going to rant about it, but it very much feeds into Sammy still being the underdog from the underground, still feeling like a rookie. And there is still some of that on Sammy. I don't know why he can't shake it. Sami Zayn still kind of feels like even though he's been here a long time, he's proven himself in the ring, he's always just, I think, forever stuck in this rut of people cheer for him, they believe in him, he's a champion, but will he ever reach the top championship? We don't know because he's constantly feeling like the underdog. And a lot of it, I think, is because of his physique, his presence. That's not necessarily a bad thing, but it's almost like this part of himself he can't shake. And this doesn't help with him asking permission from the almighty John Cena. I mean, are you kidding me? I don't know. I understand what he's doing. He's trying not to create any tension between them because they're baby faces, and he's already gotten some boos from the crowd. So he's trying to play nice with Cena as best he can and act as respectful as he can. But, I mean, the boos continued. It was about 50-50 at one point. But Sammy eventually got the match with John Cena. He offered the match, and that's it. So they said, let's do it right here, right now. And we got Sami Zayn versus John Cena for the United States Championship. A match that went 21 minutes. It was great. It was just so good. I know that we have Brock Lesnar in the end here ruin it. That's the point. You really don't want either of these men losing. It made sense here. I know people are annoyed by this, but it made sense for neither man to lose because John Cena is going on to face Brock Lesnar, and Sami Zayn can't lose the U.S. Championship to a guy that has 4 dates left on his calendar. I mean, it just would be a complicated mess for no reason. This had to end in a disqualification or an interference, a no contest, and that's exactly what happened. So people are up in arms about this, but it's only because people don't like Brock. It's not because of the fact that this doesn't make logical sense for it to end like this. But a great match. I mean, just so good up until then. I love the fact that John Cena was paying homage to his opponents throughout the years. He didn't quite get that RKO, although he tried. But one thing people are missing, and even the announcers missed this. When John Cena went for the spear, he got it, but he was not mimicking Roman Reigns. I know that John Cena was, or Michael Cole said on commentary, that John Cena was, paying homage to the big, his many battles with the big dog, right? Referring to Roman Reigns' previous gimmick. No, if you look at the way John Cena was setting up for the spear, he was very much being Edge. Very much. They didn't say his name on air, to my knowledge. He was mimicking Edge, the way that Edge would pull back his hair, multiple times as he's setting up for the spear. That's Edge. That's not Roman Reigns. So maybe that's the only Edge, any kind of Edge mention or Edge flavor we get in the John Cena retirement tour. But maybe it's also, in my mind, in my fantasy land, an Easter egg that we could be seeing somehow by a miracle, Edge versus John Cena at Saturday night's main event in December. Highly doubt it, but that's at least something I can pretend to hold on to. That said, I mean, beyond that, yes, Brock Lesnar comes out. Crowd just went crazy when he first came out. It took them about 30 seconds to recalibrate and realize that he's about to ruin the match. And then they're like, "Oh, right. This is no. You're going to come out and ruin this match. By the way, we don't like you." And then I'm sure some of the people booed him simply because of the allegations going on. I'm sure there were some people out there with that and all the rest. But Brock played his role well, and there is video. If you didn't search it out, I would search it out on YouTube or TikTok, wherever you go, that it looked like Brock might have injured his leg, his quad specifically, and it was when he was getting in the ring. He twisted his knee or his quad when he hit it on the ring apron, and it looked like he might have jerked it a bit. And so it's something to keep in mind. Brock walked out with a little bit of a limp, and that was caught on video too. So do I think Brock's going to miss the match? No, but he did have an awkward moment with I think it was his right leg. So something to be mindful of. So yeah, he F5s John Cena. Crowd, he smiled at the crowd and hit a second F5, exited the ring. And yeah, now we get it official. And John Cena backstage, or Brock Lesnar backstage, said to the camera, "I'll see you at WrestlePalooza," and said, said that B word. I can't say it on the show because it's PG, but that to me is Brock Lesnar to a T, which I actually again don't like. Only because not that I don't like the star power of Brock Lesnar. I don't appreciate who and what he is and what he's done for the business and what he's done for really just his brand. If you care about that kind of thing, he is never going to explain and why he attacks people. And the writers must love Brock Lesnar coming in. They must love it because they don't have to do anything. They just have, hey, Brock's coming back, huh? Oh, well, what's the story? I don't know. Oh, that's right. We don't need one. Just have him come in and beat people up. The creative has absolutely nothing to do with any of the Brock Lesnar returns. Well, at least from a promo standpoint, there's nothing. I mean, I'm getting a little sick of that. I was hoping we'd get something, and sure, there is a couple weeks left, but do you think Brock Lesnar is going to come out and cut a promo? I don't. Maybe John can cover that part of it, and I know some of you out there just don't care. This is very much on brand for John or for Brock Lesnar as of late. And when I say as of late, I mean at least the last program he's had with Cody Rhodes, when he attacked Cody Rhodes with still no explanation. I'm sorry, that's just inexcusable, lazy storytelling. When you won't tell your audience, at least give them anything as to why one of your major stars, one of your biggest stars of all time, is doing something to one of your biggest current stars of all time. Why? We're not owed even the basic storytelling. You guys constantly are telling us you're telling stories. We're told all the time that what you do is tell stories. Well, if you're so good at telling stories and you have such a passion for it, perhaps you should go back to the basics, because we aren't even getting the basics with Brock Lesnar. And that is my one massive gripe, and has been with him pretty consistently. Despite, I mean, I'm not going against Brock in any other way, and it's really not even his fault. It's the creative that can't just say, hey, maybe we should give them a reason. And why am I saying we should do this? Because yes, we're owed it from a storytelling perspective as fans. We the WWE should have enough respect for our intelligence to be like, hey, we never really filled in this blank. We probably should. It's a massively glaring hole. But I'm the only one barking up this tree. A lot of people don't care. I do. I do, because I like to know why things happen, especially really, really, really big things with really, really, really big stars. Not these minute little, details into the weeds. This is not an into the weeds request. This is a fairly reasonable request to understand why, get an explanation why Brock does the things he does. I don't need to have him to go in, cut a 20-minute promo. He's not even capable of doing that. I'm asking for something beyond, whoa, it's Brock. Brock does what he wants to do. No, that's just a cop-out for lazy booking. That's a euphemism for, we don't know, you figure it out. That's what that means. So I'll continue to hammer this. I'm not going to let it go, because it's inexcusable, again, for a company that tells stories, for us not to get, chapters 1 through 5 out of a 10-chapter book is just, it's stupid. Okay. So then we have a video promo of Aleister Black, and he addressed Damian Priest, told him he'd be standing across the ring from decades of hate that have been carved into him. He mocked Priest. And yeah, so then we had the match. And decent match, I have to say. The match went about 10 minutes with Aleister Black beating Damian Priest, because the finish was Priest delivering the flatliner on the apron. He cleared off the announce table and dropped Black on the announce table with the razor's edge, but it didn't break. Priest then went for a South of Heaven chokeslam in the ring, but Black grabbed the referee to prevent from being taken up into the air. And that allowed Aleister Black to hit the Black Mass kick for the victory. So fine. I mean, the match was fine. It was good for what it was, for as long as it was. But, I think they could have done better had they been given more time. And the Black Mass Kick is still, to me, the last finish I'd want to take on the roster. It's just brutal. No room for error. Zero. All right. We then had a sponsored video package that aired and focused on Randy Orton and Drew McIntyre's feud. And a match between McIntyre and Orton was then advertised for next week's SmackDown, along with another Brock appearance, Tiffany versus Jade, which is, again, big SmackDown coming next week. Backstage, Kathy Kelly interviewed Tiffany Stratton, and they addressed Jade Cargill, who had said Tiffany shouldn't have won at SummerSlam if her foot wasn't on the rope. And Tiffany said she didn't need any help to defeat Jade, and she'll do it again next week. And elsewhere, Jade was confronted by Nia. She told Nia that she could get in line for a title shot after she beats Tiffany next week, or they could go sort it out in the ring right now. And Nia chose to walk away. And then we get Michin versus Julia for the Women's United States Championship. What I'll say again, and I'll continue to say, Jade needs to learn how to cut a promo. She hasn't had any really just horrific ones that are embarrassing because they don't even trust her to try to go out there and even try. That's the most concerning part is I would at least say, okay, they gave her a shot for a 7-minute promo. She bombed, but at least they gave her a try. Like they said, okay, you're going to sink or swim. It feels like they're coddling her. It feels very much like they don't want her to have any of that potential implosion on TV. And I understand that from the perspective of you're trying to mitigate everyone's weaknesses, hide them, and, only allow their strengths to come through. But sometimes you have to see what you have. You have to let someone go and see what they can do. And they haven't done that with Jade yet. They haven't, which is why she hasn't gone anywhere. But I'll continue to hammer the company until they actually, after 2 years now, we should have been getting some kind of growth for Jade. And what have we really gotten? So Michin versus Julia, as I said, ended with Julia defeating Michin to retain the Women's United States Championship in 8 minutes and 16 seconds. That's because Kiana James got involved and caused a distraction. Michin got rid of her, but she ate a big running knee from Julia and got the victory. After the match, Kiana attacked Michin and was pulled apart by the refs. We then got a video recap of Secret Service taking out Charlotte's knee from last week's SmackDown. And backstage, Alexa spoke to Charlotte and left Lily with Charlotte to allow the power of friendship to heal their pain, which is fine. I mean, this friendship here with Alexa and Charlotte, it has felt awkward at times. It's felt a little bit forced at times. It's felt a little bit too heavy-handed at times. A little awkward. Their birthday celebration was really bad. But outside of that, I think they've done a nice job, and it's a nice landing place for Charlotte. And it's smart to keep her away from the crowd in Chicago, because when they saw Charlotte on TV, she got a little bit of a mixed reaction, and you don't want to have her regress in this role. I mean, you want Charlotte as a babyface as long as possible here. And having Lily there, I could do without the silly doll. I think we all could at this point. It's a carryover from a time that, yes, it was the connection with Bray and the Firefly Funhouse, and she was sitting on a playground for 4 months. I get that. It was a fun time, but it's time for Alexa to evolve a bit. And I know this friendship with Charlotte on air friendship, and perhaps in real life too, is going well for both women. But I think there needs to be a little bit of growth from Alexa. And, it's not going to kill her career. It's just something I'd like to see, and have her drop the damn doll. I will say it's not like the doll is flying off the shelves in their merch department, okay? It's not one of the top selling items. I don't know if it ever was. But what do I know? What do I know? I mean, I'm just a fan watching something that I guess that sometimes, according to the company, I don't have the experience, the in-ring experience, to comment anything other than something positive about the company. According to Triple H, I should just shut up and enjoy the product. Yeah, sure. Nothing like a way to phrase it to get people to do what you want to do by insulting them and then telling them that they're not allowed to have an opinion unless it's a pre-approved one that they have selected as appropriate. Yeah, that's how this works. So, I don't know where I'm going. So then we have Seth Rollins, who told the crowd that they're going to witness history because the legend of their hero, CM Punk, dies right here, right now. The crowd was chanting, and Rollins told them to chant one more time. And then Becky Lynch comes out. He gave an introduction to Becky, the greatest female superstar of all time. Talked about how hot she was or sexy she was. I'm not sure. And he said he would do the honors of killing the legend of CM Punk. People were chanting AJ Lee, and Becky looked stunned. She said, "How dare you?" and angrily clapped back at the crowd for chanting another wrestler's name when she's in the ring. She called herself the greatest of all time and said other people are saying it's too like Sports Illustrated and the Chicago Tribune. She insulted the crowd and said all their teams suck. So, I mean, there's nothing more tried and true and just heel 101 than attacking the local teams, sports teams, especially the ones that are doing very poorly, which is essentially every single professional league in Chicago, from the MLB to the NHL to the NBA. They ain't doing good, to say the least. So, all right. She insulted, like I said, she insulted the crowd. She then said CM Punk sucks, and that's when he came out. And people went crazy. Punk told Becky it's not about her, it's about her cowardly husband hiding behind a luxury box. And Becky said it was about her and asked if he was embarrassed. Punk said he was going to give her one more chance because this had nothing to do with her. People were chanting for AJ Lee. Becky Lynch told them to shut up. Punk asked her if she actually thought he didn't have shooters who wouldn't get back in the ring and kick her ass. And he called out his sister in the crowd, Bayley, Rhea Ripley. And she slapped him again and dared him to find somebody to fight her. And he walked to ringside and said this crowd knows he would never put his hands on a lady, but thankfully he had somebody who will. Okay, before we get to it, this exact segment, if I recall, from a kind of a setup perspective, was done with The Rock and Ronda Rousey, if I'm not mistaken. Was it WrestleMania 31? 31, 32? One of those. When Ronda Rousey came in, and that's when, because Stephanie McMahon was out there with The Rock, and she was slapping The Rock. And The Rock said that, he'd never hit a woman, which of course is nonsense. He's rock bottomed. I mean, he's rock bottomed Stephanie McMahon several times over the years, especially during the late 90s, early 2000s. I mean, that was one of his biggest pop moments, was rock bottoming Stephanie McMahon. I know for a fact it happened at No Mercy 2000. I was there in person watching it happen with my own eyes. It happened at WrestleMania 17, WrestleMania 2000 WrestleMania 16, better known as WrestleMania 2000. And I think there might have been one or two other times. He's done that. Trying to think who else he might have. Did he rock bottom Molly Holly, or no? Austin stunned Molly Holly. I'm trying to think of other women. Trish, maybe. I don't know. So that's, of course, nonsense. I mean, just pure nonsense. But, I mean, because even if his character is telling us that, it's just factually not true. But it was the same kind of setup. Remember when Stephanie was doing that? I'm not going to hit a woman, which is just BS. But then, Ronda Rousey, he's like, I've got somebody that will. And that's when Ronda Rousey came in and started, one of the weirdest runs in the company's history. It started out very hot, very successful, and then just kind of flatlined. And then having her do her weird stuff about talking about the company. And Ronda Rousey is a weird person, just strange. But that was the same kind of deal here with AJ Lee being set up and Punk saying that I had never hit a woman, which was just, again, stupid to me. Somebody explain, I will say this one last time and I'll move on. Explain to me what women have from a rights perspective, wherever you live, that endows them with the invisibility shield of being able to do physically whatever they want to the opposite sex with no expectation of retaliatory action. Explain to me that. In what world would that happen? Of course, none is the answer. So even in real life, this is not a real expectation, much less an environment where it's pre-planned, predetermined, and you're actually doing the opposite to try to hurt your opponent, your partner, whoever you're working with. The opposite is supposed to be true, where you're supposed to protect them. So we can't even get to see it in a fantasy environment where the men can stand up for themselves and be men. I mean, they're not going around picking on women or attacking women or brutalizing women on air, even in a wrestling perspective. But to just say, hey, basic self-defense and self-respect, really? These guys are just going, I guess not. Now, I know it's probably company policy, TKO policy, but I'd love to ask TKO, hey, and this happened under Vince McMahon too. Explain this to me. I know that it's just one little segment here. Well, actually, it happened on Monday too. But it's been a larger problem that's been going on for a long time in the company. It makes me lose respect for the wrestlers in the ring because they'll do all these crazy things. Blood, sweat, tears. But when it comes to women, oh, well, yeah, they can beat me up. I'll just stand here. Why? Why? It makes me lose respect for them so quickly. And the company so quickly. But anyway, here we go. AJ Lee's music hits and the place explodes. Now, she got about as big of a pop as you'd expect to be, but this may have been the biggest pop I've heard, in years. Now, Brock Lesnar got a massive reaction when he returned at SummerSlam. These kind of reactions are rare. They're even more rare in the women's, area of wrestling. This may be the single biggest women's reaction return of all time. She's already gotten 100 million views in aggregate over social media, which is incredible. Yeah, the fans are ready. I mean, it was a goosebumps moment. I've gone back and watched it a dozen times already because it's one of those moments that just, it will live forever now. And I want to hear from all the people that talk about how predictable wrestling is, that hate when everything's predictable. What do you have to say about moments like that everyone in the world knew was going to happen? I don't think anybody believed that it wasn't going to happen in Chicago. With the setup that they had, CM Punk coming to SmackDown, it's the main event of the show. What world and what person believes those critics of everything's predictable? If it's predictable, it's bad. Those people that believe that anything that's predictable, even if it's the right thing, if it's predictable, it's bad. And there's people out there like that. What do you have to say for moments like this? What do you have to say when this is extremely predictable? It was. But it's completely overridden and overshadowed by just doing it being the right move by the company and just living in the damn moment. And that to me is more important. And sure, predictability can suck sometimes. Predictability can be a big factor. But when a star returns like of this magnitude to that reaction, I don't want to hear from the predictability is bad crowd. I just don't. It's difficult to do something unpredictable and also do the right thing. That's a difficult combination. One that I know a lot of us expect all the time as wrestling fans. I didn't see that coming, but it's the right thing. That's so cool. That's a hard combination to achieve in 2025 with social media and leaks and backstage and all the rest of it. Very difficult. But I will take any day of the week, predictable but right, over unpredictable and just, for the sake of unpredictability, which we've seen at times. So this was a massive reaction. Crowd was going just insane. Becky Lynch played it perfectly. Like, she was in shock. She didn't know what to do. She was messing with her hands. She was just kind of flabbergasted. She played it great. Punk stared off and smiled with pride, looking at his wife, and holy yes chants, well deserved. And she charged Becky finally, and that's when she just was raining down haymakers, and she tried to escape. AJ gave her a big slap to the face after licking her hand, and she bailed with Rollins. That's when Punk and Lee embraced, which was a cool moment in the ring, and they shared a kiss to end the show. That's just great. This was, it's one of those moments that, again, you're going to go back to and watch again and again. I think if you're a wrestling fan, that gives you goosebumps. It is difficult to say, again, that you get a moment that is predictable that still gives you goosebumps, because usually those moments happen when it's something unpredictable. For example, Edge returning in 2020 at the Royal Rumble. That's when I still go back and watch, which is still incredible, because no one was talking about Edge coming back at that time. And unfortunately for him, he timed it the worst you could time it, right before a pandemic, and then had to wrestle in front of nobody, which is just horrific for him and so many others, Drew McIntyre, Brock. Randy Orton. But it's that kind of moment that I know a lot of us sometimes get addicted to, and it just, all of a sudden it's an expectation, right? All of a sudden it's just, oh, wow, we need more of those. Those are hard to concoct. Though that's hard to just, again, in today's day and age, be able to manufacture, make it feel organic, have that star power there as well. Those are factors that are very, very difficult to have all come together for the unpredictable and right move. Those moments are even rarer, but I will take this. I'm sure a lot of us, if you're listening to this, how can you not be excited about AJ Lee's return? It was just awesome. Now, how long is her contract? What is she going to do beyond this, proposed tag team match that is all but confirmed again for WrestlePalooza? I don't know. I would think that she's here for at least a year. Test it out, see what happens. She has a whole new roster to work with. On top of, yes, Nikki Bella, who's a former WrestleMania 31 opponent. I think she took on the Bella Twins at WrestleMania 30. Was it 31? I think it was 31. So there is former talent here that she's worked with, that she has a history with, that I hope they bring back up and remind us what happened there. Because if you haven't seen AJ Lee taking out the Bellas in a promo, you got to see it. I mean, she destroyed them. She destroyed half the women's roster in a single promo. I don't know if it was Raw or SmackDown. I mean, AJ Lee is she's really good on the mic. She might be one of the best women's talkers ever in the company. So hopefully she's retained that. I don't see why she wouldn't. She'll shake off that ring rust pretty quick. She looks like she just walked out of a time, some kind of time machine. Like she left in 2015 and came back in 2025, and she looks the exact same. I don't know what kind of genes she has. Genetics. I'm not talking about the wearable, material. I'm talking about her genetics. But I think a lot of us would want whatever she's got. Okay. If we could transfer some of that and she could sell it, we would buy it. But, she looks incredible. She's put in the work clearly to stay in shape. I've never seen a picture of her where she's let herself go. Everything from her hair to her skip to her makeup to her, her outfit to just everything. She looks the same. In a decade has gone by. A decade. Think about where you were in your life 10 years ago. And how you look from 10 years ago. I mean, I certainly don't look the same. Hell, I was about to get married 10 years ago. I don't know what your story is. Perhaps you were still in school, or, maybe you I'm sure you might have a different job or a different significant other. And now you're just like, wow, 10 years ago you were doing this. And that's kind of how I'm using it to mile marker how long it's been for me with AJ Lee's absence. And it's like, damn, it's like she didn't miss a beat. So we'll see how she does in the ring. With a tag team match, it's a nice reintroduction to the business, because you're able to get, it's not like she hasn't been doing reps or I'm sure, spending time inside the ring. Of course she has. But to be doing it in front of a live crowd, of course, is different. And doing it in a tag team match is a nice reintroduction because you're not expected to carry the full weight load, right? You can tag in, you can do a kind of like get a breather and feel the crowd out and get your feet wet again and see how you feel. It's a nice split the workload reintroduction for AJ. So that'll be cool. And I don't even know, when is the last time we've had a husband and wife versus husband and wife tag team match on any show at all? I mean, I'm sure I'm missing. I'm trying to think of Stephanie McMahon and Triple H. They had their run, of course. I don't even know. I mean, I don't know. Randy Savage, Miss Elizabeth. I'm trying to think. I'm sure there's one that's obviously glaring, but I'm trying to imagine that happening. I mean, Becky and Seth, now they took on Baron Corbin and Lacey Evans, but they're not married. So I don't know. Is this a first time ever? WWE would certainly love to promote that. They love their first time evers. Did I just discover one for them? Is this the first ever husband and wife tag team match ever in the company? It can't be. It can't be. It doesn't sound right. But anyway, I'll leave that to you guys to decide. I will give you guys, that's your homework assignment. So there. All right. Well, that'll do it for me, everybody. I hope that you enjoy the rest of your, whatever's left of your weekend, or probably Monday by the time you listen to this. If you're hunkered down in football, well, welcome back. I hope your team won, whatever your team that may be. Or if you're diving into the MLB sphere, playoffs are just a few weeks away. And for my loyal listener, Kay from Toronto, we're 2 games back, my friend. Just 2. Can you feel the hot breath on your neck? Can you feel it? Can you feel the Yankees breathing down your neck? Now, I'm not gloating. Okay, I'm not gloating. Obviously, the Yankees are my team. I still believe that the Blue Jays, you guys will probably win the American League East because your pitching is better. Your hitting has been much more timely and consistent than us. Your defense has been better. Ours has been questionable at best. It's cost us games. And our bullpen is, I don't trust our bullpen, especially in a big spot. They make you sweat, and I don't like it. And when you get to the postseason, it's a bullpen game because very few starters go past 5 or 6 innings now. And I don't trust our bullpen. So I still believe, again, I'm a realist. I'm not going to just sit here and go, oh, we're going to beat the, no, we're not. Here's what's going to happen. I think the Yankees will take the first wild card. They'll win, I don't know if they'll win the series, but because it depends who they face. But I believe that the Yankees will get home field advantage for the wild card game. The Toronto Blue Jays will win the American League East, and that's my prediction. So even though we're 2 games back, and hey, if we win the division, for us, it's all the better. But you guys will still be there, no matter what. I mean, it's either you guys in the first place wild card slot, or it's us. And if it's not the other one is the American League East winner. So we will at some point cross paths in the postseason, my friend. In the postseason is where things count. Everything gets reset. All right. Well, that's enough about the MLB. I apologize for those of you guys that are listening for wrestling and you're hearing me talk about NFL and MLB. But it's what the thing is, it's a huge time to be a sports fan. I mean, it's one of the best times. Because if you're a wrestling fan, obviously you are listening to this, you have the NFL going on right now, just restarting. You got the whole season in front of you. Everybody's at 0-0. You're thinking about the next 17, 18 games. You're thinking about the playoffs, what could be, what might be. Your fantasy team is just restarted again. Life is good. And now the MLB, if you like the MLB, it's deep into the season. Your team's trying to make a run. Maybe you can get the wild card. And if you're a wrestling fan, hey, you got Brock Lesnar, you got John Cena on his retirement tour. AJ Lee just returned. You're looking down at the WrestlePalooza. You're thinking about maybe what Survivor Series could bring, and then into the winter you go, and then the Royal Rumble and WrestleMania. It's a great time to be a sports fan. September is a hell of a time and the weather's just right. You know, the summer heat has kind of faded away. Well, if you're in the northern part of the U.S. anyway, and you know, it's just great. So, all right, well, I'll leave it there. Thank you, everybody. I know that there's some stuff I missed, and I didn't really talk about Raw, but there's so much on SmackDown. I really want to just get my thoughts on SmackDown. If you want to hear my full Raw thoughts, of course, I did a whole show on that aired on Tuesday. So check that out. I'll be back probably on Tuesday, if not sooner. I know I was supposed to go live tonight. I wasn't able to do that, but I will do it. Maybe I'll do it tomorrow, and that way I'll fulfill my promise of going live for you guys. Those of you exclusively on Patreon anyway. All right, everybody. Thanks so much. We'll talk next time.
Thanks for listening to the WWE Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe on your favorite podcast app so you don't miss a show, or head to WWEpodcast.com. And for all of these shows ad-free, head over to patreon.com/WWE Podcast. Until then, we'll see you next time.